Fox 61 News at 5 starts now.
I don't want to be the Sandy Hook guy.
Now at 5, the Alex Jones trial enters day 6. We're hearing from Jones on what he thinks about the trial as emotional testimony goes on inside the courtroom.
In scary moments at one school this morning, students are forced into a lockdown after social media threats. We talked to students who at first thought it was just a drill.
Plus, a new poll showing Democrats leading by double digits in the upcoming election. We're breaking down all the data.
And the Big E celebrating the state of Connecticut. We'll take you to all the festivities at the fairgrounds for Connecticut Day.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. The Alex Jones trial continues again today. The InfoWars host appeared at Waterbury Superior Court again this morning.
Now, today he talked about what he thinks of his defamation trial. Fox 61's Lindsay Kane is in Waterbury with what he had to say. Lindsay.
I asked Alex Jones outside of court who he thinks the victims are, the families or himself. Now, he says he's being misrepresented and used as a political hit job. Take a listen.
I think that the families are a victim of the process and these lawyers manipulating them and controlling them to go after the Second Amendment and the First Amendment. And I also think that in the process, I have been used as a straw man to build an image of Alex Jones that isn't really accurate.
He did not testify today in court, but says he will testify tomorrow. His comments were not brief on what he thinks of his trial. He says the corporate attorney for InfoWars parent company Free Speech Systems, Brittany Paz, quote, had no idea what she was talking about on the stand when she testified, saying it's fair to say the company made $100 million since 2012. Jones says he did not profit and his lies about Sandy Hook hurt him. Jones has already been vocal on what he thinks of his trial on his show, calling the judge a puppet and calling the trial cuckoo land. Now he risks being held in contempt. The jury must decide how much Jones has to pay several of the families of the victims because a judge has already found him liable of damages. Now again, Jones does say he's set to testify tomorrow, but the judge says before that happens, she's planning to talk to Jones before the jury even gets in. In Waterbury, Lindsay Kane, Fox 61 News.
Yeah, before the Alex Jones case took center stage outside the courthouse, inside, more testimony from the family members of Sandy Hook victims.
And it quickly became one of the most emotional days of the trial thus far. Fox 61's Matt Caron is live in Waterbury now to take us inside. Matt?
Yeah, hi guys. You know, today was really all about showing the jury the tangible pain and anguish that the lies of Alex Jones caused. Lies that continue to this day and lies that the judge, Barbara Bellis, has already warned Jones he could be held in contempt for if he doesn't stop speaking. Day 6 in the Alex Jones trial brought both courtroom drama.
Attorney Pattis, he had a suggestion, and I'm going to hear it. And then we'll see if you have a suggestion.
And emotional testimony.
It's insane. It's just absolutely insane.
David Wheeler took the stand, his 6-year-old son, Benjamin, killed at Sandy Hook.
The best way to describe it is that I felt like I was underwater.
He recalled a routine night in the Wheeler household where Ben got upset and bit him.
I sat him down on his bed and I said, "Sweetheart," I said, "you can't bite people." And he looked at me and he said, "But Dad, I had to bite something." And I mean, it's weird, but now I'm kind of glad he did. I have this scar.
In the days that followed Ben's death, the Wheeler family, stricken by grief and secluded in their home, were the subjects of ridicule and harassment by followers of Alex Jones.
Telling me that I was going to burn in hell and that I would pay for what I had done.
A knock at the door.
This person demanded to see Ben. I know he's here. I know he's alive.
And even the target of a conspiracy that Wheeler was the same person as FBI agent Bill Aldenberg.
Do you find Alex Jones to be funny?
No.
Has Alex Jones harmed you and your family?
Yes.
Wheeler, who says he still supports responsible gun ownership, says some of his views changed in the wake of the massacre.
When the news came out about the weapon that was used to murder my son and his classmates and teachers, and the specifics of that weapon and the availability of such a thing, I found it shocking.
Then when the court recessed for its usual 15-minute morning break, it turned into nearly an hour as the judge scolded the attorneys for injecting politics into the proceedings.
Trump, Obama, Clinton, any of that stuff, I'm going to just tell the jury that this case is not about politics.
As court briefly reconvened, a second witness called. Erica Lafferty is the daughter of Sandy Hook principal Don Hochsprung.
She was witty and fast-talking and sarcastic.
Hochsprung died trying to save students by confronting the shooter as he barged into the school.
Anyone that spent more than 5 minutes with her knew that that's what she was born to do. She loved kids more than life itself.
Now, Ms. Lafferty has since finished up her testimony, as has Jennifer Hensel, the mother of Sandy Hook victim Aviel Richmond. That paves the way for Alex Jones himself to be called to the stand tomorrow. I did speak, by the way, with attorney Norm Pattis in the hallway. Asked him, how do you think it's going to go when Jones takes the stand? And he told me, quote, I won't be able to control him. It should also be noted that at several points today, Pattis was seen in the hallway doing his best Alex Jones impression. Guys, certainly an interesting day here in Waterbury Superior Court. We expect that to continue tomorrow and throughout the week. We're live here in Waterbury. Matt Caron, Fox 61 News.
All right, Matt, thank you. Well, Windham High School students were sent home early today after spending some time on lockdown in the morning due to what officials say was an armed intruder call.
Yeah, school officials ended the school day early after it was determined students were safe. Fox 61's DeAndrea Turner joins us live outside the school. So DeAndrea, how are students doing tonight?
Well, you guys, they were scared, and parents and teachers, they were shaken up too. Earlier today, this entire road right here and across the street was full just of parents waiting for their students to get out. And like you said, they were expecting this to just be an active drill, but actually officials say that this was an armed intruder call. It was a normal day for students at Windham High School.
It was pretty typical.
But just before 8 a.m., police say the school was put in lockdown because of a gun threat. Students say they thought it was just a drill because they'd been doing them for the last few days.
Then we found out it was real. Then it started getting serious, and we didn't know what to do. We were all sitting in a corner, scared half to death. Me and my friend were having an anxiety attack.
Students huddled in corners as police searched the school and determined that there was no active threat.
Once I seen the cops bust in through the door, I panicked. I was frozen in fear.
That fear also felt outside the school as parents were waiting for their kids.
I started freaking out, crying, and I just said I need to get to the school and make sure my baby's okay.
Other area schools, including Eastern Connecticut State University, sheltered in place during the investigation. Students tell us the threat originated on Snapchat, and the video was sent across the school.
It was just him opening the backpack, 2 guns, 1 clip.
The incident leaving students questioning their safety.
I don't think I'm going to even come to school tomorrow because we don't know what's going to happen the next day.
And school will resume as normal tomorrow. However, officials say that there will be a crisis team available and there will be an increased police presence here as well. For now, in Windham, DeAndrea Turner, Fox 61 News.
All right, DeAndrea, thank you. A motorcyclist is dead after a crash involving a school bus in Torrington this morning. Police say the crash happened at the intersection of Torringford Street and Greenwoods Road just after 6 a.m. and it appears that crash happened as the bus was making a left turn while the motorcyclist was traveling south. Police say that motorcyclist was flown to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. No passengers were on the bus at the time. The bus driver was not injured. 3 8th grade students at Bishop Wood School in New Haven were taken to the hospital today after ingesting what appeared to be candy, and we're told the student who brought the candy into school described it as an edible. School officials say 3 students experienced slurred speech and vomiting after eating the candy. New Haven police are now investigating what may have been in that candy.
And a second incident, Hill House High School in New Haven is put under lockdown. There was strong police activity in the area. School officials say during the lockdown, a student started acting erratically. She says she had consumed an edible substance. She was taken to the hospital as a precaution.
All right, turning to the weather now. Cooler, less humid day today, and we could see a little more rain tomorrow.
Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us now with a look at conditions. Hi, Rachel.
Hi. Yeah, off and on rain during the day tomorrow, even the chance for a thunderstorm. So grab the umbrella, keep it by your side on your way out the door. But this evening, no weather issues. Temperatures in the mid 70s for Hartford and New Haven. We started the day off with a lot of clouds, broke for sunshine, and overall turned out to be a really beautiful afternoon. Not one, but two cold fronts heading this way, and out ahead of it, not only will we see showers tomorrow, but also higher levels of humidity. Low temperatures tonight, not going to drop very much. We're only talking about 60s with the humidity moving in. And tomorrow, off and on rain, the chance for a isolated stronger thunderstorm, especially in southeastern Connecticut. And we'll see those temperatures gradually fall back through the day. Eventually some late day clearing as we head towards sunset, and then turning much colder as we head into later tomorrow night, and unseasonably cold and blustery for your Friday. Highest risk for severe weather will be across the mid-Atlantic. We're also on the weather watch for Hurricane Fiona, the latest on the track and intensity of this storm, and other areas in the tropics that we're watching coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. Well, a new poll coming out today showing the Democratic incumbents for Connecticut governor and U.S. Senate both leading their races by 17 points.
Fox 61's political reporter Emma Wolfhorst joins us live in the newsroom to break down the numbers. Emma.
Brent, Sarah, that's right. This new Quinnipiac poll shows the Democrats leading by double digits in both the gubernatorial and Senate races. Let's look first at the governor's race. Incumbent Ned Lamont ahead with 57% of likely Connecticut voters. His Republican challenger, Bob Stefanowski, with 40%. Now, there is a big gender gap here. Women supporting Lamont 63%, but men split with 50% for Lamont and 47% supporting Stefanowski. Governor Lamont is also seeing an approval rating of 58%. On to the Senate race, incumbent Richard Blumenthal also leading his Republican opponent Leora Levy by 17 points, 57-40. Like in the governor's race, a big gender divide here. 64% of women support Blumenthal, men split evenly, 48% supporting Blumenthal and 48% supporting Levy. In terms of approval ratings, Blumenthal has 56% approve, 38% disapprove. Now, major points in both these races and across the country this election season, issues like abortion and gun control. But top of residents' minds here, money. Connecticut voters marking inflation as the most urgent issue facing the state today. Taxes coming in second at 20%. No other issue reached double digits. Sarah.
Well, Emma, we've seen a lot of national interest, particularly in this U.S. Senate race, and some are saying that Trump is on the ballot this year. Does this poll reflect that?
Well, 10% of likely voters did say their reason for voting in this U.S. Senate race is to express support for former President Donald Trump. 29%, though, said it was to show opposition to him. Voters in this poll also giving Trump a negative 27 to 65% favorability rating. Live in the newsroom, Emma Wolfhorst, Fox 61 News.